So I wasn't planning on doing a video today at all. In fact, I was going to take a couple days off, but I was doing my returns today, and I got scammed. So I'm going to talk to you about that and show you exactly what happened. So without any further ado, let's go. So, as the title says of this video, yes, I got scammed, but it isn't going to end up the way you think it does. So let me explain. So yesterday we received our mail, and I got a couple packages in the mail, and that's normal. I figure that they're both returns. And generally I don't do my returns until after I'm done with my shipping for the day. So any overnight shipping, I'll get up and take care of that before the mailman gets to the house. And then I'll go in and do the returns. So I get this envelope. Now remind you, I sold a Black & Decker. It's like a sort of like a dustbuster type thing. It's a kind of a fold-up thing. So I wasn't expecting a Black & Decker dustbuster in this package. Okay, so I opened it up. I'm not sure exactly what it is, and inside is another manila envelope, and inside that there's a piece of plastic. Looks like a lid from something. So I'm like, what in the world is this? I didn't order anything, and B, this doesn't seem right. Why? And this looks like my return label. So I knew exactly at that time something's up. So went on and checked to see who is this buyer. And it turns out they're the ones that sent me a message stating that the Black & Decker dustbuster was not functional. And I had tested it before I listed the item, and I knew that wasn't right. It was a used item, and we sold it at a decent price. I think it was like $50. That's including shipping. And so immediately after finding out who this person is, I went in, and I knew that I'm a top-rated seller, and I can go in right away and give a 50% discount, write it off as the cost of doing business, and I'll just move on. And that was sort of my intention, but I really, the side of me wanted to report this buyer. And I should have learned a lesson that something like this happened to me late last year with with a device that was sent back. It was a different device than what I sent them. It was an older model, and the one I sent them was new. And I did the same thing instinctively. I went in and I reported the buyer. And as soon as I typed up the message to eBay to report the buyer on the website, and I hit send, a sense of dread hit me, because I knew by doing that it would open up a case for the investigation into the buyer, and I would no longer have the ability to go back in and process any type of refund, full refund, partial refund, not at all. I sort of went into panic mode because I don't feel, and even after the events of today, I still don't feel like eBay has our back as sellers. They've proven too many times through their policy changes and through their actions and through their reps' actions that we're not important. So I decided I was going to call eBay. Now, you can't dial up eBay and expect to get a rep. You have to go on their website, and you have to go to ebay.com/sellerhelp and navigate your way through the submenus and get to where it says contact us, or need more help, contact us. And so I did that, and I requested a callback, got one. They contacted me back within like 2 or 3 minutes. And the rep that called me, I could tell he was in the Philippines. He's one of the Philippine representatives in one of the offices they have in that country. And you can tell by the accent and by the over-friendliness, but the non-attention to why you're calling. It's sort of a scripted answer. So after talking to him for about 5 or 10 minutes, I pretty much told him, look, I don't want to waste your time. I don't see us getting anywhere here. You're kind of just quoting me policy. I need to speak to someone in the dispute department or someone above you that can help me with this, because this is a situation where I need to figure out how we can proceed to where I can just give a half refund and forget filing a case. I should have filed the complaint against the buyer after processing the refund, which is all I was trying to do, was unravel it so I can give this guy a half refund and just move on about my day. So after he put me on hold, he came back and said that he was going to have a supervisor come on the line and talk to me, and I was fine with that. And this putting me on hold went on for about 15 minutes. Finally, he said, I have a supervisor on the line. I'm going to go ahead and put her through to you. And so he transferred the call. She said 2 words, and the phone went dead. And so 20 something minutes, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me right now. So I sort of waited there thinking that, okay, they're going to call me back. So I stood up to grab something. I was doing a few things with my sales, and my phone started ringing. So I walked over, and as soon as I went to answer it, it stopped ringing, and it was from eBay. And I received an email a couple minutes later stating, sorry, we missed you. So they just called long enough for it to register that they called me back, didn't bother to stay on there long enough to actually leave a message or even allow me to answer. And I could tell that this representative or the supervisor didn't want to deal with me and my situation. So that's how we started it off today. And so I called back, and I didn't call back. I went in and with that whole navigation thing, and I was able to contact someone. And thankfully this time I ended up getting a rep from the United States in the Texas office. And I explained the situation to her, and what my intentions were, and she put me on hold. And after a few minutes, she came back and said, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give the buyer a refund. eBay is going to refund the buyer. For you, we're going to go ahead and just release the funds that's on hold with managed payments. One thing you have to realize is a lot like PayPal. They put a hold on those funds whenever there's a return request. So all this time, that money's been holding until there was a resolution for the return. So she stated that that money is going to be returned back to my account. Great. But I was also concerned that the buyer really needs to be reprimanded because of the fact that they're a seller as well. I didn't mention that. They had 300 feedback, and they were selling a set of tires, Mercedes-Benz tires or whatever. And if they could do something like this to a seller, what are they going to do to their buyer when they're dealing with the situation? So she assured me that they're going to deal with it and look into it, but you know how that works. Usually a buyer has to be slapped multiple times across the hands and the face before eBay decides to do anything to deal with these kind of buyers that want to take advantage. So I accepted that and hung up the phone. But then it dawned on me, well, wait, this buyer opened up a return under the guise of, I believe they said it was a damaged item is one of the items they selected. I'm not sure the exact verbiage. It wasn't item not as described. It's the damaged or not working. And I said, wait, this is a false return, and I don't want that to be counted against my my return metrics, because you get enough returns, then it's counted against you in a negative way, where you're now paying 4%, and in July it's going to be 5% additional for that particular category where you have high returns. So I went through the eBay system, got a rep on the line. She was like a breath of fresh air. And I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she wants to be mentioned on my video. But I got to tell you, she was excellent. She listened to me. She didn't just answer the questions that I had. She actually went above and beyond and tried to help solve my frustration, and wanted me to go on to the community. There's a community town hall that happens every Wednesday, and I plan on going tomorrow onto this town hall. It's on the eBay website. So there's a lot of questions I want to ask and clarify, and maybe I'll bring that to you in a future episode. So she was even kind enough to say, hey, with all the frustration you went through, I'm going to send you a $25, coupon or whatever. I said, you don't have to do all that. I mean, you were great. You listened to me and you gave me some resources that I could use. She was able to answer my question to the best of her ability. And so, I just said, okay, I'm done with it. But guess what happened? The mail came. And guess what came in the mail? That return for the Black & Decker handheld vacuum. What is weird is that this person used, I've never heard of this before, and I don't even understand how it could have happened, but they used the return label that I sent them for this plastic piece. I don't know why they would send me something that looks like a shiv, but that's what they sent me. And they used the same return label for the dustbuster. So yeah, I plan on reaching out to eBay and letting them know, but I'm really concerned that A, the post office allowed the same label to be used for two different packages, and B, why this person would actually send this piece of plastic to me. It's mind-boggling. And the first thing you think of as a seller is I'm getting scammed. And when I filmed the intro of this video, that was exactly right after I opened up this piece of mail, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting scammed, and I need to let you all kind of know what these tactics are. So that's quite a story, and it's a lesson learned for me. I mean, I don't think I would have done anything differently, because you're not expecting, after receiving a package from the customer that is supposed to return the item, they send something totally different. You're not expecting to receive the actual return after that point, but it happened that way. So what did I learn? I learned that you are able to get a hold of a representative very quickly. In calling, every time I called, it was a very fast turnaround. One way to get a hold of a rep in the United States is to choose something that's payment related when you're going through that menu with ebay.com/seller help. When you're dealing with that menu, if you select something that's payment related, I don't know the exact terminology off the top of my head, but that will direct you to someone in the managed payments team, and there's no managed payment personnel in the Philippines. The second thing I learned is you as a seller do not want to be on the phone with anyone that's not in the United States. And the reason is they're not given the power, they're not given the authority to deal with these situations. Okay, they're scripted, and they're not going to give you the level of service that I think every seller deserves when they're dealing with a potential scam or any other type of situation. So if you have a situation with a buyer like this and you are being scammed, what you want to do is, before you go through anything, don't report the buyer, don't process the refund. Take photos of whatever you can and go on and either call when it's available or go on the website and ebay.com/seller help and select the option. Keep going through the different menus, and near the bottom it'll say contact us for further help, and have them call you. Okay? And my thing is, if you don't get someone in the United States, you might have to do this again. You may need to go through and select something that's related to managed payments or your funds. There's different options. But by doing that, you're going to get someone in the United States, and even though that managed payment person can't help you, they will get you over to someone in the United States that will be able to at least have a conversation with you, maybe send an email on your behalf, or just get you in touch with the right person that can help you. And after that, then go in and file. If they're not willing to give you a full refund, like fortunately they were able to do for me, use your top-rated seller benefits. If you're offering 30-day returns, free returns, that is 30-day free returns, you can go in and offer a 50% refund off of that item, depending on if there's accessories missing or whatever they do to you when they send the item back. You can deduct up to 50% off of that refund. And then once you're done refunding the customer, go in and report the buyer and provide any supporting documents. So that's my lesson learned for today. Hopefully you can learn from it as well. If you like this video, please give me some likes, smash that like button. Please consider subscribing. We're putting out more and more content as we learn from our mistakes. We're going to pass them on to you. And, stay tuned. We're going to give you some more content here in the next few days. So I'll see you next time.